What up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fillmore podcast. I'm Loco,
I'm Poet.
and today we're going to talk about the 3D GTA games, mainly on the consoles and PC. So we're not going to look at PSP, Nintendo DS, handheld games or anything, or any of the spin offs. It's just the main GTA games and what we feel is the top five, personally, individually, out of that list.
Believe that.
Right. So my list is not about which game is technically the best. A lot of people won't even agree with my list. It's just which game I enjoyed the most for that time period and overall enjoyment.
Right.
All right. So what we're first going to do is just talk about what my top five is and what your top five is, and then we'll go into details. So mine is going to be controversial. So you start off yours first.
Damn you, Loco. All right. Number 5, I got GTA 3, which was in 2001 with Claude, the first of the 3D games. Number 4, I have Vice City, which was 2002 on the PS2, Tony Versace, which was Ray Liotta. And number 3 was GTA 5, I have on my list, on the PlayStation 3 and the remaster on PlayStation 4. Number 2, Nico Bellic, GTA 4, Liberty City. And number 1, them caps get peeled in GTA San Andreas, the greatest game of all time.
For me, number five is San Andreas.
Oh my God! Major disrespect going on here. Major disrespect.
Number 4 is GTA 5.
Okay.
Number 3 is Vice City.
Yeah.
Number 2 is GTA 3.
Yeah.
And my favorite is GTA 4, Nico Bellic.
Wow.
So that's what.
Nico Bellic takes it, huh?
All right. So, what game do you want to talk about first in more detail? San Andreas, since that's my last and that's your first.
Yeah, let's talk about San Andreas, the greatest game of all time, disrespected by Loco.
Okay, I'll tell you why it's so low on my list.
Yeah, tell me.
Okay, I think by the time San Andreas came out, I was kind of burnt out of the series. So it came out 2004. So I already played GTA 3 by 2001. Then I played Vice City by 2002. So it was just like a year or 2 years later, I played San Andreas. So I think I was just burnt out by that concept of it, because I played the other two so much that I lost the appeal of San Andreas. And yeah, I remember playing with my best friend at the time, and we played all the GTAs together. So he was burnt out too. So it was a mixture of both of us being burnt out, and the mechanics were pretty much the same. Although you can do a lot more. I agree, it's a much better game. But personally, because we're doing our personal list of how we felt playing the game at the time, I think I was just burnt out of the game and what you can do. Nothing was like surprising and shocking anymore. Although it did add like cool new features, the core gameplay was still the same. And I think I was ready to move on for something different at that point. What was your favorite?
For me, it was the opposite. This is the game that I really got me into GTA properly. And it was my friend Zabuka. He gave me the game. He lent it to me, and I was instantly hooked. So I loved the storyline. I loved the music. I loved the cast. The music was amazing. All the '90s hits were in there. You had 3 cities, which is the first time and only time that's happened. So it was a huge game. You had references to the hip hop culture and great music and a fantastic storyline and gang wars. You could do gang wars and take over territory. It was awesome, man. Yeah, so much so that when I play other games online with Zabuka and good friend Dr. Ranu, we use a Grove Street name as a trio, as a crew, referencing the game and the memories of it. So I think a lot of people have great memories of that game, and yeah, that's why I love GTA San Andreas.
Zapuka, also AK known as Akira. Personal joke there, but yeah. I think the next game we should talk about is GTA 3 because that started the whole 3D
Right,
GTA
right. Yeah.
series.
Yeah. We should. We should.
Oh my god, I have so many good memories of this game. So 2001, I believe it came out October on the PC. And again, me and my best friend, I think we downloaded it illegally from one of those Napster thing kind of things. I can't remember what it was, but we downloaded it, and it was around the time when my exams were coming up, as in the exams were like in 1 month, and then I got GTA 3 on the PC. Those two things do not go together. So instead of revising and studying for my exams,
Yeah.
I was heading up GTA 3 and just being amazed. I mean, at this point, no one has seen a game like this, man, where you can just drive anywhere, 3D world.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was crazy. It was crazy.
The,
Absolutely crazy.
I have played the original first two, and they were fun. The overtop, the way you can squash people and shoot people. So
Yeah.
violence was shown in games before, but never have I played in a 3D environment like this, where everything was just amazing. I mean, for the time, the mechanics were really good, the graphics were really good, and the best thing about the PC version was you can go into the directories and put in your own music. So when he goes in the car and is changing radio stations, one of them will be whatever you put on your computer. So I had like Iron Maiden, Guns N' Roses,
Yeah. That's the only
and
reason they play
Tupac,
GTA 3. Yeah. Just-
and all that stuff. So I had my own personal soundtrack too. And yeah, just being amazed of what I was actually playing, like I couldn't believe it. And yeah, me and my friend, we got hooked right away. We played every day. So he would come over and we would just play together, swap. I would go more into stories. My friend would just like driving around and killing people. So yeah, it was the first one that started everything, and it was one of those games that makes you go, "Wow!" Like there's not that many games that do that. Like
No.
Uncharted did that for me on the PS3.
Well, I would say this game changed everything in gaming because it was the first open world game that I can remember. I mean, I think Mario 3D might have been before this, but there's a first real open world experience. I mean, without this, there's no Assassin's Creed, there's no Uncharted, there's no anything.
You mean
All
Mario
those,
64, right?
yeah, sorry, Mario 64, which was on the Nintendo 64. But without this, there's none of those titles. Like all the third person titles for the last, let's say, 15 years are because of this game. This game started it.
It started the whole sandbox games, basically.
Basically, yeah.
And it included everything that no one else was doing: the hardcore violence, the music,
Oh yeah, it was
even
crazy.
the cutscenes, and the story was like whatever. But for the time, it was awesome. Like whatever, you working for the mafia. I think I can't remember what the story was.
Claude, yeah. You're a mute named Claude, and he's kind of making his way up the mafia ranks.
But yeah, you had that cool like leather black jacket, whatever it was.
Yeah,
Character looked cool with like spiky hair and like
yeah,
being chased by
and
the cops, all that stuff. Like
yeah, he makes an appearance in GTA San Andreas. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah, no, I think you can race against him or something like that.
Yeah, he's in one of the races because yeah, that was set. The time period was before. So
So
anyway,
yeah,
that was a great game.
yeah, and I think I was at the perfect age of it, like 15 or something. So like 15 playing a game like this, you can just imagine at the time, and on the computer too. So it was running better than it was on the PS2 and everything. So GTA 3, that's my memories of it. How did you play it first?
Yeah, it was through you. Like you had it on the computer. I just started playing it through there. I didn't do many missions, so I was more like your friend, where I was just driving around, listening to my personal music. The music thing blew my mind. That's what really got me into it. I was like, wow, I can play. It's like playing Tom Petty shooting people up. It's not a normal thing to do, but it was fun. And I did a couple of missions, but at that time, I just felt like, oh man, I can't finish this game. It's too long. But what an amazing game! I did end up playing it again many years later, but by that time the technology had kind of um, receded, and you couldn't really play it anymore. But I still played 10, 15 missions anyway, just to get the experience of like what it must have felt like at that time to really go through this game. Uh, Groundbreaking, amazing, game changing, beautiful game.
So next on the list, let's talk about Vice City then.
Ooh, yeah.
So after playing 3 and the whole excitement for it and how good it was, you didn't have to wait long for Vice City. It came out the next year, I believe. So leading up to this game, me and my friend would always at school on our breaks or even during like IT class would look up these gaming websites just to see a little screenshot or a little video of the game. So since we loved GTA 3, and then this one was set in the 80s, and it was just a new GTA game, and we were incredibly just like amazed by it. We would get the magazines, so we got hyped as soon as we heard about it. Uh, I remember back in the day when you're young, as soon as you hear about a game, your hype starts. Then you go and buy magazines and you go look up online and you keep going through all this stuff until the game comes out and you keep hyping each other up. So for this one, I got it on the PS2. I didn't get it on the computer for some reason. I think was playing the PS2 a lot in 2002, and I was blown away. I mean, it was set in the 80s, so it had a completely different feel.
Yeah, yeah,
The main character, Tommy Vassetti, he looked like the guy in 3, but obviously now he's a different guy and he can talk. And it had like famous people doing the voiceovers, like Ray Liotta, I believe, is in that game.
yeah. From Goodfellas for anyone who's younger.
And it had the 80s soundtrack. It had like Michael Jackson and all those songs from the 80s. And
It
that
did. It did. I wish they would remake it. Because anyway, you carry on. I'll add on
and,
later.
and 80s is one of my favorite, if not the favorite music generation
I
for
know.
me.
I know. I
So
checked.
again, playing with you like your favorite songs set in your favorite era. 80s is my favorite era too for movies too.
Oh, that makes sense because '90s is my favorite, so that's probably why I'm more drawn to San Andreas, and you're more drawn to this one.
And yeah, just playing in the era, playing with like voiceovers, like more voiceovers now. The main character has more personality. Cool cars from the 80s, like the Ferraris and all that stuff, and the over the top. Like basically, it was Miami Vice meets GTA. So you can't go wrong there. So I remember me and my friend were trying to finish the game together. So again, the same friend, my best friend at the time. Every day at lunch in school, because I used to live close to the school, we used to come over to my house anyway. And we would either play games or watch a movie, like a bit of a movie, or watch the TV shows that were on at the time. So not many people know this, but we used to watch TJ Hooker too when we used to come home.
What?
William Shatner's TJ Hooker, where he plays a cop,
Oh my god!
where it's so bad it's funny. So we used to watch that every day coming home from school and just laugh at it eating our lunch. But yeah, we would play GTA sometimes too. Otherwise, we would meet up on the weekend and we would play GTA Vice City.
Right.
And we loved it. And I think we got stuck at this one place where you have to control a remote control helicopter. And we both tried about like 20, 40 times, and then we had enough. So we just played the game as casual players where you just go around killing people with Michael Jackson's soundtrack and you're murdering people in the background. Oh, yeah, it is a game I think I might try to replay. Obviously, the controls and everything are not going to be as good now because we got used to how the mechanics have changed over the
Yeah,
years. But I believe if you start playing it, you'll get into it, you'll get used to it. It can be fun again. So, yeah, that's my memories of GTA Vice City. Just loving the era and being pissed off as hell at that helicopter part.
yeah, right. For me, I played it after San Andreas directly, and I almost finished it, but I got stuck at the second last level, and then the PS3 came out. So yeah, but I really enjoyed the game. I mean, for the same reasons you mentioned. I think what made it for me was the Ray Liotta's performance as Tommy Versace and the music. But yeah, I agree with everything you said. Another beautiful game.
And people who are listening now who are like younger people, in those days, you couldn't skip a mission. If you couldn't finish it, that's it. You had to get your friend to finish it or find a code or something. So it wasn't like if you fail a few times, you can skip the whole mission. So a lot of times you would get stuck in one place for like a year, maybe, or even more.
Yeah, that happened to me in San Andreas on some flying mission. But yeah, it happens. Next one.
Let's talk about GTA 5 then.
Yeah, let's talk about 5.
What's your memories of 5?
I was very excited when it came out because it had three characters, and I was because San Andreas was my favorite game. I was really looking forward to this, and secretly hoping that CJ would make an appearance somewhere because it's set in the same city. But yeah, it was an amazing game. I think again, playing it with you, Doctor You, all at the same time, comparing notes. That was also made it a little more fun. I think me and you, we were playing at exactly the same time, right? If I recall, see who could finish it first. And I think we finished it too quickly. I mean, I certainly felt I finished it too quickly, so I didn't appreciate it as much. But when it came back on the PS4, I played it again, and then I really enjoyed it. Took a little longer with it, and yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, I believe when it was on the PS3, you said the game sucks and it let you down.
Yeah. Because I finished it in 5 days, so I like breezed through it too quickly. I felt it was too easy, but I think I just was playing it too much. It wasn't that it was too easy. I was just spending too many hours a day rather than spacing it out. But when it came on PS4, my opinion completely changed. Now I love it.
Yeah, so GTA 5, I played on the PS3. So Michael, Franklin, Trevor. First game you can play with three different people. And I can't lie. I was first disappointed that you're playing as three different people. When I play a video game, I like to be engrossed as one character.
Mm,
So it took me a while to try to get used to this whole like cutting in between. But I appreciate what they did. It was something new. It was something different. The world was just amazing. Like visually, it was amazing. The mechanics were on point. The stories were funny and interesting. But I think I was more. I couldn't get over the fact that you're playing as three different characters. It kind of took me out, even though they connect later. When I'm engrossed in the game, I just like to be one character and just finish the game that way. So that's probably why it's a bit lower on my list. That's the only gripe I had. Other people might love it,
mm,
but I would have preferred just playing either as Michael or Franklin. Like Trevor, he has some comedic moments, but I think he could have just been like a side character that I would be fine with that, right? So include him in the game, but like I didn't enjoy playing as him too much. So, but yeah, it was different areas of the map when you're playing at them in the start. A good story and everything, and yeah, like visually and everything, it was great. I think another thing that maybe reducted some points off me was just before I played this game, I played my personal favorite open world game of all time, Sleeping Dogs. So
mm,
after coming from Sleeping Dogs and just everything you can do in that game, it wasn't a huge jump for me. Just seeing how GTA 5 was, and then playing as the different characters, I didn't feel that connection as I did as I felt in Sleeping Dogs. So I still believe Sleeping Dogs overall, if you look at the PS3 versions, was a better game.
wow.
But yeah, GTA 5, yeah, like you, I enjoyed it, but yeah, that's why it's not that high on my list. But playing it now on PS4 online, like what they did with online is uncomparable. Like they keep updating it, keep adding fun missions,
Yeah.
and even here with my friends at work, like we would play that and have fun, like playing different missions, talking on the mic. Like it's a good time. Like you just can't take it away from that game. Like oh man, the online is amazing as well. Such a good experience. It's its own game by itself. I mean,
Yeah, it is.
yeah. So a lot of funny stories I can't repeat on this podcast, but yeah,
Yeah.
online the way people talk to each other and the
Oh yeah,
argu-
I know
ar-
all about that.
the arguments people have. So yeah, but I think they're overdoing it now. Like they need to release a new GTA 6, but and they keep
Yeah,
releasing this
because
one and adding online features. Like I think I'm done with it. Like I think people need to stop playing so Rockstar realize that they have to make a new GTA game because if people keep pumping money into it, why would they create a new game, right?
yeah,
And
it's
then the,
7 years. 7 years since the last GTA 5, which is 2013. Long time.
so yeah, just to mention, yeah, the PS4 not only did they update the graphics, the frame rate was faster, and you had the first person view as well. So they added a lot of things that was worth it to buy it again, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah, that was GTA 5, and this is the only one I played, I guess, without my best friend at the time.
right. Cool.
Now let's talk about. My number one, and was it your number two? What number was four?
Yeah, number two, very high.
So yeah, this is probably overall this is the highest rated in our list then combined.
I guess it is. I guess it is.
2008. For me, my favorite character of all the GTA games, Nico Bellic,
Yeah,
and how he comes to meet his cousin Roman. I don't know where to start with this game. Again, this game I bought it on Windows, so the first experience I had was on the computer, and then I bought it on the PS3, and for some reason I bought it on the Xbox 360 too.
yeah, yeah,
Later, like secondhand.
yeah.
I love the character. I love the world. The mechanics were highly improved from San Andreas. Right, there was a big jump from San Andreas and GTA 4
Huge
because
jump. Yeah, huge jump.
GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, they were all done quickly, right? So they were probably using the same mechanics in the background. So visually, they didn't look that different from each other, right?
Right, right.
But GTA 4 was that generation jump. Like, now you don't really have that huge generation jump where you're like, oh my God. So imagine a new 3D world with a new generation. The graphics, my favorite characters. The driving was fun. You can go on dates and all that stuff. I think you can do that in the other ones too, but I don't know. I did it more in this one. And yeah, it was just like a badass character, cool story, great mechanics, and on the computer, online was free. So now me and my best friend would play online with each other.
Nice.
And what's funny about this friend I keep talking about is in real life, he's a very calm, soft-spoken, non-violent, quiet person, right? Quiet guy, right?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's true.
But in video games, there's a complete opposite. So not only GTA games that we would play together, we used to play wrestling games together, even like soccer games, football games, everything. And dude gets violence on these games. Wrestling games, he's always setting up the tables, the chairs, all that stuff. Let's play no DQ with knockout on and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like while I'm trying to like submit the guy, I can just look in the corner of my eye and he's like stomping someone with a chair like 20 times, then getting another weapon because they break, then throwing the guy on the table and trying to do a maneuver on the table too.
Violence.
And the same thing with
Oh,
GTA 4. We would play online, and we played other games online too, like No One Lives Forever. It was another really good game, but so I kind of knew what to expect. So we would be communicating with each other. I think you can type or stuff, and we had like MSN opening somewhere or something. I don't know. We were communicating with each other, but it wasn't as easy as it is today. Like we weren't talking on the mic, so it wasn't like real time communication. So every time we planned, like before we played, okay, let's go here, and then we'll kill everybody together. And he would all go missing every time in the middle of the game. So I'm there fighting like five guys at once, and then you just feel like a helicopter come in. And of course, I was him in the helicopter.
Pop, pop, pop.
And you just like, yeah, clapping people from the helicopter, ramming the helicopter like into other machines to blow them up. I like just driving the helicopter next to me, and I can just see his face. Like you can just tell he's telling me to get my ass in the helicopter.
Yeah.
Then we're both in the helicopter, like beating people up. Or if we're on foot, we're like both fighting, like we're ducking and diving. He'll just disappear, like come with like some car ramming people over like violently. So yeah, I love that game because I enjoyed the online the most, even though it's not the best online, but I enjoyed it the most for the time. And it was just something new. I was thinking it was the first online game I ever played after No One Lives Forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, like oh my god, it was just so fun. And then just the memories with my friend playing it, and it was just as fun playing alone too. The stories, just roaming around.
Yeah, yeah.
These games, like you memorize these maps after you play so much, right? You don't even have to look at the map; you know where everything is. Yeah. So my favorite character easily. I wish, I wish he came back. Did he die in four? I can't remember.
No, no, he didn't die. No.
Yeah. So I hope somehow they can just like come back as a cameo or something, or even like as a playable character. Like I would love a GTA where they do like how if they did five with different characters, imagine a GTA with all these characters in different generations just doing different stories.
Yeah.
So imagine the Claude from three, like with today's graphics, today's mechanics,
Yeah, I think about that all the time.
like an extra missions. You know what I mean? Like that weren't in the original game, and then yeah,
Yeah.
same thing for you. Think like CJ. Imagine him now, like what he does after you finish San Andreas, like some missions there. Like imagine
Well,
a game where you
yeah,
all those
imagine
games.
all of them together. They have to do a heist or something just by chance. One heist. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I think yeah, there's a big time difference, but yeah, some characters will be really old, but that would be cool though. That would be cool, like seeing some characters old compared to the other guys.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tony could be like a mob boss by now, and CJ would be, you know, yeah, 50s, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm sure it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think we
All
talked
right.
all about them,
Yeah.
all of them
Is
now.
it just a question? Is it worth mentioning Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 very quickly?
I think that warrants its own episode. Those games are too good to talk about just
Yeah, I
as
think
an
they are,
add-on.
but essentially they use the GTA mechanics and they're made by Rockstar as well. But we'll do that another time. But yeah, Rockstar, fantastic, fantastic gaming company. Amazing games. My favorite, personally. I think you would go for the Uncharted series over this, or is it very close?
Overall, Uncharted, I guess, because you can't really compare because Uncharted is one character's journey throughout the whole
Yeah,
game
yeah. But I
series,
just
right?
mean your favorite game, just purely on emotion.
Yeah, Uncharted. Yeah, Uncharted is probably number one with on GTA series just below that.
Cool.
But they're both yeah completely different games. But yeah, just I guess the fact that Nathan Drake's story it
Yeah,
was amazing going through all of them. Like after I got the first one, every other game after that was like day one by, and I finished those games like in 4 days each.
me too.
So,
Amazing,
but
amazing.
yeah, we'll talk about Uncharted some other time. That has to be talked about in detail.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
All right, guys, that was our personal look at what our favorite GTA games were and the memories that went along with that. I'm sure everyone's list is going to be different. All great games. Can't really compare them now because you have to look at when they came out. You know, you can't compare three with five, right? Because the mechanics and technology improved so much.
Yeah.
So for the people that played it when it came out, I would love to hear your opinion on which you think was the best for the time.
Yeah, leave your comments. I mean, a lot of people love these games, and so do we. I think that's it for me. Is that all?
Yeah, that's it for me too.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Fillmore podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode.